Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our 35 webinar entitled Hydroponics Technology for Future Startup. So at outset, I welcome all of you for this our program. Most respected Vice Chancellor of our Central Agriculture University, Dr. Anupam Misra sir, and respected Director of Instruction and the PA of this IDP NAHIP, Dr. S. Basanta Singh sir, and respected Dean, College of Horticulture and Forestry, Professor B.N. Hazarika sir, and the resource person of today's program, Mr. K.V. Bhaskar Rao, and all the dear participants. Good morning to all of you. So this is one of our important program we are organizing for these students as well as entrepreneur seekers. It is our series of webinar. This is our 35th webinar, and it is most important topic, and it's a hydroponics technology. It is emerging technology because to meet out and grow the important and conserve or potentially endangered species we can grow and under controlled conditions. So before going further, so without making without delaying much time, so I would like to read the a brief biodata of our speaker. So he have a limited time. So Mr. K.V. Bhaskar Rao, consultant, hydroponics and CEA, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, is working in United Arab Emirates. A graduate in agriculture, Central Agriculture University, India, master in food and agriculture marketing management, gold medalist from Mysore University, India in 1994, certified crop advisor, American Society of Agronomy, and an expert in conducting farm internal audits and implementation of HACCP, Global GAP, BRC, LEAF, Mark, ETI, Syndex. Around 3 decades of experience in controlled environment and agriculture coupled with the hydroponics project development, operation and management in the harshest condition of Gulf countries, including produce, branding and marketing strategies. Rich experience with key focus on top line profitability as well as optional utilization of scarce resources, thus ensuring growth. Having a comprehensive expertise in managing overall activities of controlled environmental agriculture, specializing in hydroponics cultivation of exotic vegetable veggies, lettuces, leafy greens, herbs, wheatgrass, microgreens, basically farm to fork. So now may I request our respected Dean sir to address this large gathering. Sir, more than 350 students and other participants have registered this program. And sir, most of them are very eager to this learn topic because it's very important. Sir, I would like to address this. I request you, sir, to address this large gathering. Sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Raja. First of all, good morning to everyone. And I welcome all of you from my code of heart, as well as on my own behalf and on behalf of the College of Horticulture and Forestry, Pasighat, Arunachal Pradesh, India. This is our program under the IDP NAHIP program. IDP NAHIP program is under the College of Horticulture and Forestry, and we are conducting a series of this program. So I welcome our esteemed resource person, Dr. Rao Sahab, who will be joining us from Dubai. Good morning, sir. Very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Namaskar.
Nice to see you. Namaskar, sir. So we are very much thankful to you, sir, that you have given us some time on these very topical issues. And I hope all our students as well as viewers will be benefited upon it. So I once again do welcome you, sir, in this 35 series of webinar program. That is our today. We are on the topic of hydroponics. So as you know, viewers, the hydroponic is an emerging technology in the present era, and there is a lot of things are to understand. And in this regard, our esteemed resource person has given us consent to deliver his delightful lectures, and I hope all will be enjoying it, this his lectures. And I welcome everyone once again to everyone, and I thank our honorable Vice Chancellor, Central Agriculture University, Dr. Anupam Mishra sir, as well as our Director of Instruction sir, S. Basanta Singh sir, for bringing this laurel program to this university, as well as conducting it in various constituent colleges. And in this College of Horticulture also lucky to have this very uh, important project. So I once again on my own behalf, as well as behalf of the entire fraternity, do welcome you, sir, on this 35 webinar program on hydroponics. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for addressing and encouraging, motivating the students. And now we'll, before going in the technical program, I would like to read this program schedule. So today now we will have a 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. The topic will be hydroponics technology, future tools to feed the world. And we'll have a break of 1 hour. And 12:30, we will start 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. The topic will be hydroponics cultivation of culinary herbs. And tomorrow we'll have the session same time 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. So sir will speak on microgreen cultivation using hydroponics. Now, sir, I'll hand over the Zoom platform to you. Please start the session.
Thank you, Dr. Raja. Very good morning to all of you, to all the staff and students. Very good morning again from Dubai. Just, I would like to thank in the beginning Dr. Anupam Mishra, Vice Chancellor, and the DI, Dr. Basanta Singh, of course, the Dean, Professor Hachan Hacharika Saab. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. And last but not the least is our organizing secretary, Dr. P. Raja, who has taken all the troubles of connecting me and connecting myself with you guys on this beautiful platform. And also, very good morning and welcome to the lecture to all the staff and students of the College of Horticulture and Forestry, Arunachal Pradesh, Pasighat, which comes under the Central Agriculture University. Even I am a pass out of the Central Agriculture University. It's my alma mater. I, in fact, passed out in 1992 when CAU was just about to be formed. It was under the Manipur Agriculture College, like the Imphal, in Imphal. So that's my basic little introduction. So let us start off with my topic of today's topic, which will be a little interesting and little, I would say, more broader perspective, so that I just want everyone to understand exactly the importance of hydroponics, where it is leading us to, and what are the challenges and what are the opportunities in general. I will not go into complete details because it's just a 1 hour lecture. I'll just start sharing my screen now. One second. Dr. Raja, is it visible? My screen is visible now?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, let's start it off with hydroponic technology, the future tool to feed the world. You know, the name itself sounds very challenging, very interesting. You will feel like you are doing a great bit of noble thing to the world, to feed the world. So how do you feed the world? Let's try to understand, how do we feed the world? See, by 2050, this is a general myth. A general saying to all the people in the world that, you know, there is around 9.7 billion people who will be there by 2050. So in the next, within the next 30 years, we will need to produce 100% of more food than we are producing today. Okay. So that's the situation now. See, we are in a position whereby we can achieve this if we get into some other systems of cultivation, alternative methods of cultivation. So what would be that alternative methods of cultivation? Let us try to discuss. See, how do you feed the world? See, how do you double this global food production? Is it by farming more land? That will give us only 20% because land is limited. Or is it by raising more animals, you know, for the meat industry? But more animals will consume more resources because they have the biggest greenhouse gas emissions from them. It's not a sustainable solution at all. So is producing food in the old-fashioned way, you know, to feed the people of the 9 billion people in 2050, old-fashioned way, like, you know, all your farming, hydroponics, seasonal farming, depending upon the monsoons, depending upon weather. So the United Nations says no to all this. It is a complete no. So the United Nations is just put in one word, one single word, which has identified a solution which is called technology. This technology is the only solution to feed the world. Of course, technology will have to be assisted by a series of parameters and other factors that will help in producing food. So food can be produced only with new technologies. Skill development, very important skill development. It is this skill development that the students of this year, of this century, should be looking into. Mechanized commercial farming, mechanized, okay, urban agriculture, precision agriculture, CEA, which is controlled environment agriculture. All this, urban ag, precision ag, CEA, all this will help in boosting the production. So technology and collaboration is the key to abundant food. You have to make use of technology and you have to collaborate all this. You have to collaborate. You have to collaborate farming, you have to collaborate agronomy, you have to collaborate big data, you have to collaborate IoT, machine learning, AI, and all those technologies which are involved in production. That will give us abundant food, affordable food, abundant food and affordable. If it is not affordable, it will not be of any use. It should be safe and healthy. Safe and healthy and nutritious. It should be following all the protocols of good agriculture practices. And after post-harvest, it should be following all the practices of HACCP. HACCP is hazard analysis at critical control points. Okay. So if this situation, we can feed the world in a better way. So when you're talking of technology, let me concentrate. There are various other technologies. Let me concentrate only on hydroponics. Okay. So we can very well say that hydroponics, what is hydroponics? Hydro means water. Ponics means labor. So, or working. So you are working with water, which literally means working with water. Hydroponics, you know, it is also called soilless cultivation. Nothing but it is, you know, a nutrient-rich water is delivered to the root zone of the crop. So in hydroponics, there are basically two types. One is the active hydroponics and one is the passive hydroponics. Okay, active hydroponics uses water as a grow media, nutrient-rich water. Whenever I mean water, it is nutrient-rich water. And the passive hydroponics uses a media, which could be a media which could just hold the root or anchor the root. It could be coco peat, it could be perlite, it could be rock wool, it could be husk, it could be clay balls, it could be anything. So, and that also the media is supplied with nutrient-rich water. So active hydroponics uses water as a grow media. Passive hydroponics uses media, some nutrient, some inert media to grow the produce. So as I was mentioning, so these are the things. You see, solution culture or active hydroponics is using water. It could be static, water is stagnant, water doesn't move. Continuous flow, it is NFT, which is nutrient film technology. The other one is the ebb and flow. Ebb and flow is nothing but flood and drain, okay? Next, we have got the DWC, which is the deep water culture. These are all closed circuits. You know, the water is used, is reused. The water is not drained out. It is reused again and again after passing through the system, whereby it stabilizes its pH and EC and goes back into the plants. Then we have advanced technologies like aeroponics, fogoponics, and rotary. Okay. Then you have the medium, which is the passive hydroponics. This system uses, as I was mentioning, it uses a inert grow media, which is like gravel. It could be perlite, it could be rock wool, it could be coco peat or cocoa husk. You know, the leca balls, you see the round balls there. Okay, that's called the lightweight expanded clay aggregates. So these are the types of grow medias. Now, why are we stressing so much on hydroponics? Hydroponics, it could be done indoors. It could be done in a controlled environment agriculture like greenhouses. It could be done in urban areas and in the cities and on top of on the rooftops also. So the global hydroponic market is expected to grow. It's presently now 226.45 million, 226 US dollars, you know, in millions. And it will reach to 724, just more than double by the next 2 years, in the next 2 years. So which is, in general, there is a cumulative average growth rate of around 18%, more than 18%. So on an average, when you look into the world, it is 60 to 70% instantaneous rise in the CAGR. In this sector, we have something called the smart greenhouse market. The smart greenhouse market, which is just coming up now, is around 2.1 billions, okay? And by 2025, it will be that much. It was actually 1.4 billion in 2020. So smart greenhouse is nothing but when you're utilizing all the smart activities of IoT or machine learning, artificial intelligence, precision agriculture, remote sensing. It could be in greenhouses or it could also be in large fields. So the factors that are boosting hydroponic or urban ag and controlled environment agriculture, greenhouse, polyhouse cultivation, why? What is the factors? It could be decrease because of the decrease in arable land. The land is being decreased, as you all know. Okay. Growing up urban population, raising demand for food, water footprint, not carbon footprint. I'm talking of water footprint. It's a very important thing. People are more concentrated on the carbon footprint, but as a grower, as an agriculture grower of food, we should also consider the water footprint. People use abundant water, so water is also a scarce resource. Okay, so people are looking into sustainable agriculture. People are looking into eco agriculture, permaculture, or organic farming, which is more ecologically helpful. So which is more community-based and comprehensive strategies are involved. So an environmental friendly agriculture sensitive to environment and based on a community approach. Soilless agriculture deals with that. Basically, we are trying to put in all those factors which are boosting this hydroponic industry or the soilless agriculture is environment based on a community approach. So the word soilless is the ability to produce higher yields than traditional soil-based agriculture because we are having precision fertigation. We are using fertilizers mixed in water and feeding the root zone. So you are not having any sort of heavy metal residues. So you are exactly feeding the crop what it exactly requires. And the plant population is higher. Per square meter plant population, we can do higher because you're having all the biotic and abiotic factors under your control. It allows food to be grown and consumed in areas of the world where we cannot support crops in the soil. And we don't use any sort of massive pesticide use, considering most pests live in the soil. So it makes our air, water, soil. These are some of the advantages. Okay, and pesticide-free products through biological pest control or the OMRI approved control methods also could be used. Nutrient solutions may be recycled or reused in other areas. In some places, they don't recycle the nutrient solution. What they do is they use this nutrient solution that is coming out of the drainage from these from the fields or from the crops that are growing. They use it for the fence crops or for other avenue trees or for turf management. So the grow mediums, what I was talking to you about grow mediums, it is reused and recycled. They are all biodegradable, except for rock wool, stone wool media. Okay, so we mostly concentrate on cocoa peat grow media. I have also mentioned you about increasing plant population, which is already here. It yields, per unit area the yield increases. So you see, these are the advantages. I'll just read through, which is always very common in any sort of hydroponic. You see, when you go across any sort of hydroponic article write-up in any of the magazines or any of the internet. The thing I would like to focus is, when you're controlling the environmental factors, both biotic and abiotic factors, and you reduce the abiotic and biotic stresses, you get a nutritionally superior vegetable product. It could be I'm talking about vegetables because we are concentrating more on vegetable produce here. So that will, it will be ripening on the vine. It will be ripening on the plant. Thus, you will not be utilizing artificial ripening methods. It tastes superior and healthier than its soil counterparts. This is a very big question for people around, that because it is, they feel that it is artificially grown. It is not at all artificially grown. It is just natural. Only thing is that we are controlling all the, or we are monitoring all the parameters, not controlling, sorry. We are monitoring all the parameters of growth. So this is more healthier. And, it could be, you need to have different nutrient formulations for different plants and for different stages of the plant. So we usually, what we do is we make a recipe, just like how you cook your food. We make a recipe for each crop based upon its physiology on the stage of growth, whether it is the vegetative or flowering initiation or fruit setting, or harvesting stage. So we formulate nutritional recipes based upon the crop. So when we're talking of too much of good qualities, let us see what are the challenges that we are facing in hydroponics. Constant monitoring is required. Yes, it's not like a plug and play. You have to monitor all the parameters that are available on your dashboard. This is a high-tech type of farming. It could be also low-tech. It could be in the greenhouse. But when you're talking of monitoring, you have to monitor, because all the parameters of growth are treading on a double-edged razor, because you have been giving it exact nutrients. If there is a slight change or slight alteration in the nutrient media, then the plants are immediately affected. In the soil, there is a buffering. Here, there is no buffering. Putting together a hydroponic system isn't cheap. Yes, it is expensive. Okay. Initial expenses, capex is high. And we should have continuous power supply. If there is any sort of power outage, then you will have an issue, because everything is done on power. Like especially when you're talking of indoor vertical farms, we have LED grow lights for growing the crop. And even in a normal hydroponic system, you'll be having the pumps, the motors, the fans, the pads, and whatever systems to use to control these parameters use electricity. See, microorganisms that are water-based can get into your system. This is one of the challenge. Okay. And the main thing is, even if you have all these parameters in place, everything high-tech, everything on the touch of a button, and you have it on your dashboard, if you don't have an agronomic background, if you don't know the plant physiology, the plant pathology, and any sort of nutrition or pest identification, deficiency symptoms, then your whole project fails. So here lies the expertise of the students of agriculture. Yes, production is limited. Hydroponics is just an emerging field. Production is limited compared to the field conditions. When you're talking of NFT, the active hydroponics in urban cities and urban centers, production is limited to leafy greens, to baby leaves, to some herbs, and to strawberries. So this is a limitation. But if you're talking of passive hydroponics, which is using media, then there is no limitation. And also, like, because it is having a closed circuit, okay, the solution moves through all the root zone and gets back into the reservoir and goes back into the plant again. Because it's a closed circuit, if any sort of disease appears in the plants, and we will be really affected, the whole crop will be affected. And because it is a very closely monitored room or a greenhouse or a polyhouse, the spread of disease is very fast if you do not do proper scouting. So exactly what I was telling you is that without the soil, there is no buffer. So any sort of alteration in the nutrient solution, there will be instant mortality of the crop. So let us get back to the Indian situation now. See, currently India is importing huge volumes, okay, of exotic vegetables. But this is actually growing and slowly growing at 15 to 20% per year. So the Indian hydroponic market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 13.5 for a period of 2020 to 27. And 13.5% is a quite big percentage, the Indian hydroponics market. Now, talking of Asia Pacific hydroponic market, it is estimated to be around 63 millions in 2018. So by 2023, it will raise to more than double, which goes to around 16.8 CAGR. Middle East and North Africa, I'm just giving you a rough idea so that you understand exactly how this market is catching up. Okay, see, in every region, in the MENA region, it is 15.5% CAGR, Asia Pacific 16.8, Indian hydroponics market it is 13, and in general, when you look into this, it's an average of around 15 to 16% growth rate. So you can imagine the huge potential there. Just want to give you a few figures so that you exactly can correlate why I'm talking about hydroponics and its importance. Okay, see, food and grocery retail in India exceeds 294 billion US billion. It represents 16% of India's GDP. Food and groceries also. I'm including food and groceries. And the retail industry is expected to grow to 1.6 trillion by 2026. Okay, which is compound annual growth rate of around 10%. Why I'm talking about retail growth industry is when you're talking of retail, you're talking of groceries and food. And because of, I'll get back to the next slides, because of the lifestyle changes, because of purchasing power increasing, you have these requirements of these foods growing more and more. So the food and grocery segment is estimated to have 66% revenues in this year and next year. So 66% of revenues of the Indian retail sector will come from food and groceries only. So this is where we stand now. See, I'm talking of India. When you talk of India, you have organized market. Organized market constitutes only 3%, okay, in comparison to the unorganized market, which is 97%, where you have food and retailing. So unorganized sector in food and retail is, you have your corner stores, you have your convenience stores, you have a street market, you have a, it's called a kirana stores, a grocery shop at the corner of your road. So they are more than 15 million mom and pop stores. They're called mom and pop stores, which is run by the parent or the grandparent in front of his house or in the corner of his street. So this is a very unorganized sector. We have got huge potential to get this organized. Once we have the whole system in place, then we could increase this 3% to more and more and reduce this 97%. See, the global organized food and grocery retail market size is expected to grow. The global, I'm talking of the global, of CAGR of 5%, which is a strong indicator of its growth and potential in the years to come. So when you're talking of the huge growth, there is a huge potential. Organized sectors are few. They are the gourmet stores, the gourmet stores, the high-end markets, department stores, A-grade stores, or hypermarket, e-tailers, cash and carry formats. So these sector, the organized sector, where you include department store or cash and carry and gourmet stores, hydroponic produce could be targeted to this sector. See, this sector is feeds to the high-end clientele, and especially in this present scenario of COVID, everyone is changing to online marketing, online shopping. So it could be very well a great opportunity for agriculture and food industry to get into this sector as soon as possible, because it is growing. It is really growing very fast. See, the emerging trends is the expansion of imported food categories and products. Now, whenever you go to any sort of supermarket, hypermarket, supermarket, you see lots of imported food. They have also a separate section like flown-in products or imported products, overseas products. So why do we need to have these imported products and foreign products? Let us try to grow them locally. It will take time. And these are all products which are used by high-end restaurants or high-end clientele. So these products could be easily grown in controlled environment agriculture, or it could be grown in hydroponics, it could go in indoor vertical farms. See, when you're talking of costing, yes, initial expenses are high, but when you're growing this product, these products could fetch you better revenues. So when it fetches you better revenues, your ROIs get faster. Okay, your return on investment on the initial capex becomes faster. So this is one of the reasons why there is a huge importance given to hydroponics, and people are doing it in all major cities and towns. So the popularity of this gourmet food is the high-end market amongst all the customers at this present age is, the diet foods, healthy foods, detox bars. People are moving around, lifestyle changes, people are traveling. So they would like to have what they have eaten in some part of the world. They would like to have it in their own hometown or in their home state. They look out for these foods, whether it is available or no. So this is the place where you have opportunities of cultivation and opportunities of growth. See, there is a major transformation in the recent years, and it is expected to have 20%. I'm talking of this gourmet food, high-end food. You're talking of exotic vegetables, exotic crops, exotic leafy greens, or high polyphenol content of culinary herbs. Talking of microgreens. I'm talking of superfoods like kale or wheatgrass. So all these are the crops that are being targeted to the high-end market. So these I was mentioning you, they give you a high premium price, better margins, and it caters to the premium customers. So they are ready to pay premium prices because of the purchasing power, the purchasing ability has improved now. So you have got an option of getting into some sort of exotic vegetable cultivation, exotic leaf cultivation through hydroponics. You could get a better revenue out of it. So urban agriculture, I'm talking of urban agriculture. Let's get back to the urban ag sector, which is CEA, controlled environment agriculture. Hydroponics, rooftops, aquaponics, aeroponics is a new culture that is catching up in India. I've seen so many of them mushrooming up on rooftops, especially in balconies. But the issue is, there are too many participants in this industry, who have far too little actual crop production knowledge. They get all these systems, and they feel that if you're talking of an NFT system with lights and A-frame or any sort of system which could help in growing a small polyhouse, rooftop house, but the main thing there lies in the actual crop production. So this is where we as agriculture graduates or postgraduates stand a chance. See, the IT sector will get into this, they have got all their IoT and big data coming in, all their sensors and machines and all this laptop enabled and dashboard, and then ultimately it comes onto your mobile phone, and they say that you can sit in your home and check all this or control. But the human eye is very important, especially with an agriculture background. If you don't have that, I'm doing it for the last 27 years now. Okay, 30 years, but 27 into this hydroponics. So you see, every day I do my field visit. It could be indoor vertical farm, it could be a greenhouse, it could be a polyhouse. Myself and my team, I always advise them to do a field visit, carry a field notebook, have their scoutings done for pest or disease identification, physiological problems, pathological issues, nutritional problems. So there is where we stand. So let us, gentlemen, let us see that we make our place we put a big foot there. Let's not be taken over by the other IT sector. So we overcome these challenges in our urban youth. They embrace high-tech advanced control environment using hydroponics, rooftops, warehouses, but they should be also having some sort of skill development. So as agriculture graduates, you already have those skills learned and theoretically and of course practically. But when the non-agri sector people come into this sector, they have to be given some sort of training and assistance, and so skill development is very important. So this could be overcome by giving training skill. I'm not talking of only agriculture, but it could be people from the non-agriculture sector who are entrepreneurs, who could keep this industry growing, and who could also help in getting the food balance perfect to feed all the population. Also, they could have this as a business. They could also have this as a source of revenues by producing safe, healthy, nutritious food. 41% of India's population is below the age of 20. So you can imagine the potential there, the interest, the enthusiasm of the young youth who are really interested in to make their own headway into this very big thrust sector of agriculture, which is hydroponics. So they will generate a lot of employment. They will be self-employed. They would give employment to some other people around them. And the whole sector grows as one team. So let me conclude by saying that the road ahead is, I'll just read this out. The road ahead is adoption of food safety and mechanisms such as TQM, total quality management, including ISO. Because when you're talking of food, high-end food, you have to be very careful with all these strategies, because you will be having to export them. It's not only the local market, it is also an export market. It is an export market to overseas, or it is a market which you will be sending it to your neighboring country, neighboring states. So HACCP, good agriculture practices, good hygiene practices. If you are doing all this, then the industry offers several benefits, because the client, the customer will be very satisfied if you are adhering to all these stringent quality and hygiene norms, and thereby you protect the consumer's health, prepare quality assurance. You can do a traceability of the produce, and this industry, I'm telling you, will face a global competition. So we have to enhance our product acceptance by overseas buyers and also by local buyers. So they will say, okay, I'm getting this produce imported from other European country. So they trust that. They think that, okay, this is more trustworthy. But to fight that, we in the Indian industry have to, make them understand that we are also following the same practices of growing, of hygiene, food safety, and all the quality parameters that could be implemented, using hydroponic cultivation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us cross the bridge when it comes, and please jump off the cliff. If you jump off the cliff, you will grow wings. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Raja. We can get up with some questions now.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for this introductory class, introductory session, like hydroponics technology, future tools to feed the world. Yeah, it was very interesting that that you have been working for more than 2 decades in that particular area, and you are the right person. That many of them are asking about this since yesterday. There many called me also and then came, and they want to know more about it. I think I'll give it time to the participants. If you have any query, you please ask. And few questions are there in the chat box.
Yes.
It was written by Region Teswan.
Yeah. Good question. See, when you have temperatures below 20 degrees, this is where it happens in all the, Scandinavian countries also, for 4 to 5 months. So the best solution for this is to grow indoors, okay, completely indoors with a heating system on. So there is actually a project done by DRDO, especially in Ladakh, which was didn't take shape actually. We were talking about getting spinach production or leafy green production by fortifying it with higher levels of folic acid and calcium to feed expectant mothers and lactating mothers. So this could be done in such a system whereby you will have to have your indoor vertical farms LED assisted inside a warehouse, whereby you will have to control temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide, water temperature, air temperature, and everything. So all the parameters could be controlled. This will, of course, it will have a lot of weightage on the power supply. If your power supply is fine, if you have the backup generators, then you could very well do. It could be grown on the rocks. It could be grown in hot areas like the UAE, the desert climate, arid climates, whereby the temperature goes to around 50. And also it could be grown in minus 20s and below that.
Okay, sir, there is another question also here.
Indoor lighting. See, the specification of the LED, which is light emitting diode, it depends upon the PPFD of the crop that is growing there. Photosynthetic photon flux density. Photosynthetic photon flux density is the number of millimoles of light per square centimeter or per square meter that is required for the plant. For example, leafy greens require a PPFD of around 250 to 350 to 450 maximum, depending upon the crop. Okay, if you're talking of flowering plants, it goes from above 500 nanometers. So these are the few things, and of course the DLI. DLI is daylight integral. So you should give a daylight integral of around 14 to 16 hours of light based upon the crops.
Sir, I have a few questions. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So these are hydroponics cultivation. Say, for example, for 50 meters square area, how much would be the initial cost for doing all this setup? Minimum 50 meters square.
See, I'm not well versed with the figures back in India. Sorry for that.
Okay.
The thing is, when you're talking of 50 square meters indoor vertical farm fully automated, the international market, you could say it will cost you around 200 to 300 US dollars per square meter. That is very, very high. But that may not be the figures back in India. It could be, I think it will be around 5,000 to 6,000 rupees. I'm not very sure because I'm not well versed with the Indian situation from the last so many years. Sorry for that.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so the next
But
question
it could
is,
be, you see, it could be scaled down. It's not necessary that you need to have everything automated. If you have
okay.
ample light, if you have ample
Okay.
sunlight which is available, you don't need to
Okay.
have the LEDs.
Okay. So what about this? You have more focused on vegetable cultivation. What about the fruit trees, sir? Can we grow this fruit trees?
See, fruit trees could be grown in hydroponics. They are doing all the berries in hydroponics. The strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, all the berries is being cultivated in hydroponics, the passive hydroponics. Okay. Also the fruit trees, the papayas are being done in hydroponics, passive hydroponics. It could be done. I'm talking of the media. If the media is there, but it should be economically viable. We are doing berries because berries are a prime product and they are highly priced, premium product. So that's the reason we are doing it in hydroponics. And so if you're getting better prices from hydroponically grown crops, then you do that. Otherwise, you don't venture into hydroponics for a crop which can grow in any other place.
Okay, my last question, sir. This hydroponics mostly we are growing in this water, this without the soil. So what about some of the legume crops or any crops which needs this microbial association for its growth and development? It's very essential. So how will you supplement that need?
That is where we want scientists like you to get into that. I'm a commercial grower, okay? I'm not a research and development scientist. See, you're true. It's still in the nascent stage. You cannot have the root nodules there growing for the legume crop in a water media. Of course, there are researches being done. It is being done in Portugal, whereby they are doing some sort of putting in some sort of microbial organisms into the water media to help. But this all in the research and development stage. Nothing has been come out. People may claim that they have done, but it is in the lab. So this has to be replicated into the field, in the commercial aspect. Then we can accept that yes, it is done. So as of now, it is only the leafy greens, lettuces, herbs, and strawberries to some extent.
So there is some more questions. Here, one more question.
Yeah.
The nutritional need.
Yeah, nutritional need might be different for different crops. Yes, so we are formulating ideal recipes for different crops. Can you suggest me any books? See, it is basically you have to look into the crop physiology. You have to check what crop is being grown, whether this crop is being grown for a leafy green or it is being grown for its fruit. Is it a vine crop for its fruits or is it a leafy green? So recipe, to develop a recipe is a very challenging thing, because you'll have to develop a recipe for the nursery stage, then you have to develop a recipe for the vegetative stage, and then for the harvesting if you're talking of leafy greens. So there you can get in this from the lots of calculations that are given on the YouTube with some formulations, but basically you will have to have an A, B, and a C tank. Let me tell you the basic knowledge so that you can further understand and dig into it. Mr. Muhammad, yeah. So it's like, A tank contains two specific nutrients, calcium nitrate and iron. Okay, these are all water soluble straight fertilizers. The B tank contains magnesium sulfate, potassium nitrate, potassium sulfate. It could be and the micronutrients. Okay, so all these and the C tank will be a acid tank that will neutralize the pH. So this is the 3-tank method which is used for commercial hydroponic systems. So you can get it the formulations depending upon the water quality first, and also depending upon the composition of the nutrients that is available in your country, in your place. Because the calcium nitrate contains 16 calcium and 30 nitrogen, so it may vary. So based on that, you have to calculate your ppm. That is a simple formulation which is available in any of the YouTube channels.
So I'll unmute all the participants. You can directly ask the question also. Sir, in that process, you will be also muted and you have to unmute. Yeah, now it is open for all of you. You can unmute yourself and you can directly ask the question to the sir. Deshan, you have any question? So we have even 10 minutes to go, 8 minutes to go. Please, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Can we use the LEDs available in the local market, which you use for residents? Or you have to use by specific like designed LEDs?
See, these LEDs are specifically designed. They are called grow lights. Okay, it depends upon the PPFD, upon the nanometers. Okay,
yeah.
It should be a full spectrum. Okay, it should be a full spectrum nanometer with all the primary colors in that. So that will give you, say, around, if you're talking of leafy greens, if you're talking of some other crop, it will be different. So around 300 nanometers will be a fine LED. But the ones which are available in the market will not give you that type of specific wavelengths or specific PPFD to grow your crop. If you're trying to grow normal, for example, if you're trying to grow microgreens, okay, I'll be talking to you about microgreens maybe tomorrow. Sure. So if you're talking microgreens, you could very well use them in a normal T5 tube light, because it's just a 7-day to 8-day crop, or even for fodder. So that could be. But when you're talking of leafy greens, which you will have to have the color and the texture of the crop in 30 to 35 days, then you need to have grow light specified LEDs.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
There was a question from someone, Mr. Paley, saying that what about finding suitable markets for products, especially in Northeast India? Yes, it's I just as I told you, it's developing. It is so much developing that everyone is looking out for exotic crops. So it is the best time for anyone from the industry to get into this and start producing some exotic crops, like Swiss chards, baby leaves, lettuces. It could be also some sort of microgreens. So there are people who are buying this, especially the high-end restaurant industry, and also the normal consumers.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Satyajit.
Yeah, my question is that, sir, some used to grow vegetables as a part of hobby.
Yes.
They can adopt a small setup to grow some vegetables. But as far as we talk about commercial viability, then if we talk about the investment required for this business, how could you suggest that how much investment is required apart from land to make it viable?
See, as I already mentioned to Dr. Raj, he was asking me about that. See, it is basically depending upon your location where you're growing, especially the location, and what type of system you want to use, whether you want to use a completely indoor vertical farm system or you want to use a greenhouse system. So the climate plays a major role in making your decisions. The investment you will have to check out with some greenhouse and indoor vertical farm companies who are setting up all over in India. So they will give you the best ideas. You will have to just put forth your areas, latitude, longitude, and climate and temperature, and what crops you want to grow and what's your market. Then they'll give you a feasibility report of what is to be grown and what system to be employed. But actually, in figures, I have no much idea about what exactly will be the cost.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Any more question?
Could I ask another question, sir?
You're welcome.
Sure.
Yes, sir. I have it is an interesting question because I have recently saw a post in Facebook a grower from Himachal Pradesh has used hydroponics nutrients to grow button mushroom. So could you have any idea that hydroponics nutrients can be used in any other way, like in the production of mushrooms? Because as far as my knowledge, mushrooms are not grown in hydroponic.
Yeah. See, there is nothing called a hydroponic nutrient. Okay, it is the normal nutrients that are available in the market, but it is straight fertilizer, water soluble. Number one. Number two, for the cultivation of mushrooms, as you are also very well aware, as I understand from what you were asking, they don't need any sort of supplemental nutrition for its growth. And hydroponic nutrition, he could be saying that because he is using not using a grow media, not using soil, he may be using husk or straw or something to grow his mushroom. He may be saying that it is a hydroponically grown mushroom. Yes, they are hydroponically grown because they are not using soil. It's soilless, as simple as that. So there is nothing like using hydroponic nutrients to grow mushrooms. No, that is a wrong statement. It is a myth. People, of course, people can claim that they have been doing it hydroponically. Yes, agreed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, Satyajit.
Okay, it's time to break now. It is almost 11:30. So we'll have a break for 1 hour. I will end the meeting now. I will start once again by 12:30. So 12:30 to 1:30 for the second session. I request every participant to join by 12:30 p.m. Okay, so we'll have a break of 1 hour. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.